watched their video. They did a great thing where they had teams and they traveled all around Guatemala competing.
Almost like an Amazing Race.
Almost like an Amazing Race kind of. Yeah, exactly. So it was incredible. But that's a good restaurant to go to if you're in Guatemala. Is Travel Menu and Ninu Nifa.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm going to break in here for a second because you reminded me.
And then there's Cookies, etc.
Yeah, well, hang on. Okay.
Another good restaurant.
Cookies, etc. Yeah, well, they've got great cookies, but we also discovered they have great breakfast, too. So we went there for breakfast.
And coffee, yes.
But hold on. I said I wanted to break in for a second because you reminded me of something. Niños de Guatemala. Interestingly enough, when we were coming into Guatemala, we had read a few flyers and people had told us that your heart is going to go out to the people of Guatemala because of some of the poverty that you see and the kids that come up to you and want to sell you things, but also you might have some children that kind of out and out ask for some money. And we were told that doesn't help them just to give $1 or throw a few coins to a child. The way to help is to give to some of these charities that are building these schools and trying to help the families of Guatemala through educating their children.
Right, because now you're giving them something that can last a lifetime.
Exactly.
A coin, they're going to go spend it and it's gone.
Right.
Teach them how to help themselves, teach them math, teach them English, teach them all of these different, how to think. And
well, absolutely.
You've given them more than your dollar amount.
Right, and it helps the entire family when you're educating the children. So I just thought that's something really good to think about. And Niños de Guatemala, it sounds to me, from what we learned, is an excellent charity in Guatemala.
Okay, well, hold on. Let me go back here now, because you asked me what I was taking away from Antigua. I'm going to ask you, and I might be taking away some more stuff, by the way. It depends if I'm taking away all those immune boosters yeah. or some Guatemalan revenge.
Right.
But what are you taking away?
Well, I finally got to ride in a tuk-tuk.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah, I didn't ride in a tuk-tuk in Thailand, all of Thailand or Malaysia. But I come to Guatemala, and I finally ride in a tuk-tuk.
Well, because the tuk-tuks in Thailand are taking you to a suit fitting, and you'll have to listen to our Thailand podcast to understand what we're talking about here.
Yeah, you might not be going right to your destination.
Yeah, you're going on a little detour there. But the tuk-tuks here, they're taking you wherever you want to go. There's no other stops. You pay them, you negotiate your price, and they'll take you right to where you want to go.
And it was fun. I loved getting in the tuk-tuk, and it was fairly cheap. It wasn't a big deal, and it was a good time. So, yeah, don't be afraid. You're not going to go to a suit fitting or a gem shop in Antigua, in the tuk-tuk.
And a word of advice, if you're going to a coffee plantation and you want to see, call ahead.
Know what you're getting into.
And make sure they're open.
We had the tuk-tuk driver take us what seemed like miles.
Miles.
To this coffee plantation. We get there. No, they were on siesta. Nothing was going on for a couple hours. So no, needless to say, we didn't do much in the coffee plantation except for get back in a tuk-tuk and leave.
Yeah, you know what's funny? We never make those kinds of mistakes.
Oh, we make them all the time.
Well, not that kind.
No, but
we usually know better. But for some strange reason, we ended up.
I think it was just a last-minute decision.
It was a last-minute.
Let's go here.
Well, we were walking too. It was a last-minute decision. We were walking, and it was a little further walk than we thought. So then we got lost a little bit on our walk, and we had to call the tuk-tuk guy over, and he said, oh, yeah, it's way over there. Once we learned it's way over there, we said, okay, can you take us there? And he said, heck yeah, sure, I'll take you there. And he tooled us all the way.
He said that in Spanish, though. We're just surmising that's what he said.
Yeah, he probably said, you're a couple of dopes. I can't believe it, but I'll take you over there because, it's not open.
But he didn't care.
But he did have that strange look on his face.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, so word to the wise.
Well, here's another tip, which I learned, is not only do they take American dollars throughout Guatemala, they're happy to take American dollars.
So
sure. You don't have to change your money. But they seem to have wanted brand new looking dollars. They don't want, ripped up or old ones.
No, two things. Two things. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but yes, they want brand new dollars because they can't walk into a bank and cash it. Because the bank won't cash it if it's got any kind of defect on it for them. I don't know why. Maybe there's a counterfeit thing.
Cash it as in won't put it in their bank account
they won't deposit
it.
They won't take it.
Yeah.
So they need to be perfect, actually.
That's what we learned.
If they're... But when they give you change back, you're not going to get American dollars back. You're going to get quetzales. So, beware of that. When you take that money.
Yeah, I just enjoyed that we did change our money and use quetzales. It's like, if we're in their country, let's use their money. And it made it more fun for me.
That's a whole other story, how we got quetzales. By the way, that's another good travel tip. This was another fleecing. We should do a podcast. We should do one podcast on all of our fleecings.
Well, all sorts of travel tips that we learned the hard way. Yeah. I think we need to do that next.
Hey, I hate to do this, and we've never had to do this before, but we've got a ton of information here on Guatemala, and it's going to overlap into the next podcast. So please tune into the next podcast and get the rest of our information on Guatemala. We go to Lake Adelon. We visit a very poor village there, which was awesome learning experience for us. We stay in Guatemala City also. So please tune into the next show, and we'll finish these stories and more. We'll be on the next episode of Stories, Faces, Places. Is there anything you'd like to wrap up with here?
Well, I did love the hotel that we chose to stay in, and it was right there in town, walking distance to everything. And I realized I never mentioned the name of the hotel. Porta Hotel Antigua was our hotel, and I absolutely highly recommend it. I loved every minute of staying in Porta Hotel Antigua. So I wanted to mention that.
Awesome. Anything else?
That's all for now.
All right, well, until we meet again, remember, we're all just pilgrims on a journey through life.